after a whirlwind of names, endless list of names, hell, we probably might have seen more names than a full classroom enrollment list. Uh, we started with Jose Mourinho. We went on to Brendan Rodgers, Jose
Yeah.
Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Nuno Espirito Santo, and lo and behold, we ended up with one of our own, if you can call him one, Mikel
Yeah.
Arteta. There's a strange connotation when it comes to just Mikel Arteta holding on to the Arsenal job.
Mhm.
For me personally, at first hand, it spells an air of, already smells like an air of desperation.
Yeah.
It felt like the board wanted a quick fix. This was a bit of a low blow when it comes to the appointment. But after 1 week of bracing ourselves with the Mikel's appointment,
Mhm.
we kind of accept, and we also manage our expectation that this is the way Arsenal would want their next appointment to be like, and this is the way that Arsenal is going to operate, via a manager that is up and coming. But on your end, I know you're a little bit more positive than I am when it comes to the appointments.
Yes.
Talk
Yes,
to
I
me,
am.
like, once you see the breaking news, what went through your mind?
Look, I feel like honestly, when the name Mikel Arteta came about in the mix, I
Mm,
think obviously everybody knows that you see the likes of all the managers that we were linked with. We had likes of Mourinho linked with us, and just a bunch of other names, Pochettino even.
mhm,
And I think that just shows like we were tied with. I mean, we were the names, the big names. Those were the names that were claimed to us. But the fact that Mikel Arteta, who is somebody who you could say is inexperienced, I feel like no matter how positive you can be about him, whether you are Arteta in or Arteta out, which will I think we can get onto that later.
mhm,
Um, I feel like nobody can deny his lack of experience.
mhm,
And this is a shot in the dark. Obviously, it's a gamble. But then you have to remember that sometimes some of the greatest managers, they've started off at, they all started off somewhere. I feel like even the likes of Guardiola back then, and
mhm,
yes, you could say that he broke out into his first managerial job. He was given a
mhm,
squad that was just already a bunch of winners. They were made to succeed. So that kind of comparison isn't really fair. But I don't know. I feel like you see when you see the likes of Pochettino, Wenger, all these kind of guys, they're really bigging him up, right? And you
mhm,
just think to yourself, like, why? Surely they see something in him. These guys wouldn't be saying these things about him if there wasn't anything there. And you have to think about the fact that when Guardiola came into his job,
mhm,
he went out and got Arteta. Why wouldn't
mhm.
he have done that? Because surely he would have seen something. I don't know if they had a prior friendship before that, but I mean, obviously, like I said, it is a gamble. It is a shot in the dark. But based on the fact that this is probably going to be a long term project for him, he is one of our own. And I think they will give him a bit more time because of that. I think that there's more to be positive about than there is to be negative. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what I think.
Yeah. You spoke about, rightly so, about second man or the assistant managers breaking out into their own.
Yeah,
One name can I'm really struck by this one name, Carlos Queiroz. He was
yeah,
Sir Alex's biggest sidekick.
yeah,
We
yeah.
all thought that he's gonna turn out into something, and then when he came into his own, he was utterly rudderless
Mm,
with the way he managed when he was being given the baton as a first man.
mm,
So I know we are actually hyping up Arteta on at least the people around him. You talk about really good names: Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger,
yeah,
Pochettino, even Santi Cazorla, an ex-player, say that he's really open to the idea of working with Mikel.
yeah.
So right now we are essentially paying 5.5 million reportedly per
Mm,
annum for a manager who has never yet to achieve a full 90 minutes under his belt.
mm.
Is this a gamble worth taking at a moment where Arsenal is really sensitive and delicate?
I think you would have expected that at the kind of condition that we're in now, you probably would have wanted an experienced manager to stay the shit till the end of the season at least. But I feel like based on how things have gone lately, I think the board probably feel like they have nothing more to lose because we're already in such a bad position. I think right now they've just decided that they're just gonna see it out long term. And
Mm,
I feel like maybe that's why they didn't get somebody as experienced as Ancelotti because if they did, realistically, we would have gotten no more than 2 years out of him. Let's be real, because
mhm,
these kind of managers, Ancelotti, Mourinho, they don't really stay around for long.
mhm,
And maybe the fact that also Arteta is really young. He is also actually now the youngest manager in the league. I just realized this today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's something that they're looking at. They want somebody who's young, dynamic, who I think maybe they just want something fresh. Maybe that's why I feel like they are okay taking the risk because they feel like it is shot in the dark, yes, but and we are venturing into a really, really great unknown. But it could
Mm-hmm.
either turn out really well or really bad. So obviously that's yet to be seen. But I mean, judging by the signs of how we know that when he was at Man City, he was very, very involved in their training. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
although he wasn't at the helm like as head coach,
Mm-hmm.
everybody says that he has been a very big part of how they train. And I think that's what gives me the most optimism because I see how the Man City players play. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like how they play and the attitude they show in the pitch, that's reflected for everybody to see. And that is stemmed from how they are in training, which
And
is as a
yeah,
result
and
of how
Isaac, sorry,
Arteta trains.
I've got to stop you there, mate. You
Yeah.
talk about attitude. I think
Mhm.
attitude is such a big word right now, and it's
Yeah.
because of attitude we are right now languishing in the position that we are in.
Yeah.
So during Arsene Wenger's era,
Mhm.
many players who actually played for him, who are still now in the club, they had down tools. And
Yeah.
then right after that, it came to Unai Emery, who was the younger manager,
Yeah.
came in with innovative ideas, pressing game, came in with a good CV. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he was well decorated, but
Yeah.
he's definitely one of the best coaches that we can actually, one of the best coaches that we can actually poach from
Mhm.
the outside world.
Yeah.
He came in to no effect. Attitude came into play again.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Ljungberg, who is our invisible,
Yeah.
our manager, came in for a bit, of course. He
Mhm.
couldn't get that bounce like what
Yeah.
Duncan Ferguson is giving in the
Mhm.
Everton. Again, it's down to attitude. You look at how shambolic the defending and also the wholesome performance was at the
Yeah.
Emirates against Man City. It looks like as though they were done playing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
there wasn't any fight, there wasn't any spirit.
Mhm.
Attitude again is the main play. What
Mhm.
makes you think now that Arteta is in, a guy who has again zero to his
Yeah.
CV, the only thing that he brings along are just good quotes from managers,
And a good CV.
a good
Oh,
CV,
yeah.
good-looking guy,
Good
ex-player,
looking guy. Yeah.
ex-player, right? But what makes you think that at this current moment, where we are so volatile and we can really cut the tension with a knife at the
Yeah.
Emirates, what makes you think that if Wenger can do it, if Freddy can do it, if Unai can do it,
Yeah.
how can Mikel do it?
See, that's the thing. I'm starting to. Obviously, I mean, this has been something that I've been thinking of for a while. I feel like we've seen ever since Wenger left, we've had two managers already, right? And I guess you could count Freddie a bit. He was interim for like three,
Yep.
4 matches, but I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the blame has to be shifted to the players. And I think it really sucks to say because you see the pictures that they have in training, the ones they release, they always look like they're up for it, they look
Yep.
like they know what it means. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you see all these managers, you can't tell me that all these managers are just like not like competent and all that. I feel like at the end of the day, if you see how they play,
Mhm.
the manager can only do so much. The manager is the one that gives the instructions, but it's up to the players to fully believe in what he's instructing and everything. And maybe they don't really buy. They all rather they haven't bought into what the previous managers have been telling them. Like maybe for Unai Emery at least, we
Mhm.
know that there were communication problems and all that. So maybe that's why um, they weren't really buying into his ideas. But the reason why I feel like Arteta could be a revelation is because number one, he knows the league. Number two, he you could say in the press conference, he actually speaks very, very well and he's quite
Yep.
fluent in what he says. He seems to really, really believe in ideas. And I think that's what convinces me the most about him is that he
Mhm.
seems so sure of himself
Mhm.
and the ideas that he wants to bring onto the table. And I think that should probably be the thing that we look forward to the most because at the end of the day, we don't know what he's going to bring to the table. But you can't tell me that after 3 years of with Pep Guardiola, he didn't learn a thing or two. And that's why
Mhm.
I feel like this is a shot in the dark, but it could be very exciting as well. I feel like fans need to be a bit more positive about this
Mhm.
because number one, I think we've had enough of negativity, and right now we are as low as we've ever been.
Yep.
And honestly, right now, what do we have to lose? I think right now, if we go with the move of getting a new, young, and possibly up and coming manager, seriously,
Mhm.
like it can only go up. Like, I mean, obviously it can go down as well, but
Mhm.
like I said, we don't really have much to lose anymore.
Yep. Um, do you think that if, all right, again, this is hypothesis, if Freddie
Yeah.
had produced the results that we all have been craving for,
Mhm.
probably a win at the Emirates and then
Yeah.
again a win at West Ham, and also another win against Brighton. Do you think our board
They would have stayed.
would have reacted the way they did, and then appointing Mikel? Because I feel that this appointment is alarming in a sense whereby, again, I come from a different school of thought.
Yeah,
My first shout was always Jose Mourinho. Those who know me, they would know what kind of manager I felt at that point of time is
yeah,
needed. We need a guy who comes in with the cane to
mm,
whip our whole
yeah,
team back in shape.
yeah,
Again, a guy who would command and earn respect straight off from the get go.
yeah,
But do you think that if Freddie had the bounce, if
yeah.
Freddie had actually produced the results that we again that is needed, do you think Arsenal would have actually appointed Mikel at this stage, or would we have waited out until the summer?
I think honestly the plan with Freddie was, I mean, this is what I assume would have been the
Mm,
best situation. I feel like they probably would have wanted to give him till the end of the season, to just give them time till the end of the summer to find somebody who is who could probably give them a like better performances and all, and
mm,
somebody that could give them just a better direction long term. But I think based on how, and this probably isn't a lot down to Freddie. I feel like the performances against West Ham was a good one.
yeah,
The performance against Man City obviously was shambolic, but
yeah,
I don't think a lot of that was down to Freddie, because obviously we can't forget that Freddie wasn't exactly the most experienced manager around.
yep,
He only had experience with the under 23s and all that.
mm,
So I mean, if Freddie had done well, maybe. I mean, I guess we'll never know. But you know what? I guess maybe they would have wanted him to stay on till the summer at least. Whether he's gonna stay on now since Arteta's here, I
mm,
feel like that's gonna be interesting as well. Is he gonna join the backroom staff?
mm,
Um, Personally, I would like him to. I feel like at the end of the day, even though he wasn't the best at the managerial role for them, I feel like if he was part of the backroom staff, I think his presence would be felt as well. Because at the end of the day, he is an invincible, and I feel like he would be a good presence to have in training as well. But then again, this is something I've actually been thinking about. I've been thinking about the fact that Freddie Youngberg, he's an
mm,
invincible. Obviously, he's achieved
mm,
a lot with the club,
mm,
and Arteta, would Youngberg actually like respect um uh
Arteta,
yeah Arteta in that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's difficult to see, but I feel like honestly it could go well. I would like both. I would like Youngberg to stay, and I
mhm.
think just because he didn't get the manager role permanently, I don't think that means that he shouldn't be with us anymore. Because I think he still has a lot to offer us.
Okay. I think right now we should all go, to assess every single corner or every single angle of Arsenal via by theory, because
Mm.
by theory, Mikel looks like the perfect opponent for us. He has
By
each on
theory,
his
yeah,
side. Yep, he has each on his side.
yeah,
He's cheap, most importantly for our board.
exactly.
Okay, although he's an untested and also unproven quantity, but hey, that's the way we do stuff in Arsenal. We always like to uncover the
Take a
next
chance,
gem.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I think with Freddie, how I say it, because we were so desperate as a fan base, and rightly so. Results wasn't going our way. We were clutching at straws. We were just hoping that anybody comes in, especially Freddie with the baggage that he possessed.
Yeah,
We felt that, or at least for me personally, I would have preferred Freddie to go on. But then
yeah.
again,
Same
performance
here,
was
yeah.
there to be seen. Again, we are really in a dire situation. Now Mikel has been thrown right into the deep end,
Yeah,
so
he's got
that's
a job
over.
to do.
That part is over. All right. I want to touch on Isaac. What a couple of quotes, very
Yeah,
strong quote. Also, there's a tinge of authoritarian in what he said, which bodes really well with me.
yeah,
I'll quote the first one. You have to be ruthless. You need to create a culture. Every
yeah,
act is important. Everyone has to believe in
yeah,
what we are trying to deliver. I don't want people hiding.
yeah.
I want people taking responsibility for the job.
Mm.
Anybody that doesn't buy into this is not good enough for this environmental culture.
I love that from him. Utterly
Talk to
love
me.
it.
Talk to me. What do you make of that quote? Is he trying to actually pull up a fast one? Is this a snide
Yeah,
remark, or is this probably just again a statement of intent to those
yeah,
players who are quite happy with the paycheck that they receive and
yeah,
get so easily down
yeah.
tooling in whatever ability that they have? What do you make of that statement?
Dude, you know what? I feel like obviously what he said when him saying if you're not committed it's not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
that was huge to me, because I feel like that just puts a huge message to the entire squad that if you're not putting a shift in, if you're not giving 101%, then out you go. And I think honestly that is exactly what we need right now, because like you said previously, Is he going to be the kind of manager that would demand respect? Because number one, he doesn't exactly have the background to do so.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was our club captain. He had a lot of experience at this club as well. And obviously, him saying what he said in his press conference, like what you just said, that is personally quite huge to me. I think that's a big statement of intent. I think that him saying that is basically his stamp of authority. You know, I think even talking about how he wants to create a culture, I think that's huge as well. I feel like right now he just wants to revolutionize the entirety of what Arsenal Football Club is. And you know what? You can't argue and say that that's not pretty much what we need now because, you know, even way before this season started, I feel like, you know, us being out of the Champions League for the past few years, it's been weird. You know, it's not what we used to. We're supposed to be in Europe competing for trophies, and like Arteta said as well, if it's not that, it's not good enough. But you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that he said the things that he did. I'm glad that he's firm in what he says, and that he still also says that he'll give the players to express themselves on the pitch and all that. So yeah, you know what? Wonderful press conference for him, by the way.
It is. It is. And at long last, I finally understand my manager
Yeah.
in the message that he's trying to convey because
Yes, exactly.
trust
He's
me, man,
so clear, so articulate.
I
Like
fell
you love
off
to see
love
it.
with Unai and all his press conferences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, there is another part of
Yeah.
us.
It's
The
the past
chapter,
now,
yeah,
so
the chapter has been
yeah, the
done,
chapter's done.
married. He mentioned the word ruthless. Wouldn't
Yeah.
it then ruffle some feathers amongst our top players, people like Ozil, people like
Yeah.
Aubameyang, people like Lacazette? How
Yeah.
do you think this player would receive this current appointment?
Look,
Would
you
it
know
spark,
what?
would it kind of spark a revolt in the dressing room? Because there are talks right now, if you believe in what you believe in, the saga with Willie Aubameyang, the brother of
Yeah.
Aubameyang, coming
Yeah.
out with something that was really unwarranted for. Do you think right now with his appointment, this is
Yeah.
again finally signs it delivered? There is a revolt happening in our dressing room because there are talks right now that Aubameyang wants to leave. Same thing with Granit, Mesut. For the longest time, we've been
Yeah.
trying to push him out.
Yeah.
Is this the time that we finally see these people leaving the door
Yeah.
of Emirates?
You know what? I mean, like I said earlier on, I feel like right now what he's trying to do is just create an entire revolution. And if that involves getting rid of some of our best players, you know, I think if it has to happen, it has to happen. Not just because we need to, you know, free up some of the wages, but because, you know, I just feel like we need something fresh. But then that begs the question of, you know, you see, like you said, that you mentioned likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil. You know, when you
Mm-hmm.
think about which one of these players can we actually afford to lose? And I think about it, and I think about the fact that, you know, obviously, like you said with the Willie thing,
Mm-hmm.
Aubameyang's brother, and I think that it's very tough. That's a very tough situation because obviously what Willie said, his brother, is obviously just a reflection of what he feels.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you would think that that's probably how Aubameyang feels as well.
Yeah,
But that may not be necessarily true because that might just be his opinion.
correct.
And Aubameyang is not exactly responsible for what his brother says, you know.
Never. Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like the brother should have known that, you know, as much as his brother is a representative of Arsenal, surely he would have expected that the fans would have caught on to that and realized like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not good. That's not what our club captain's brother should be saying.
Yeah.
But that I don't think that's really important right now. I
Mm.
think what's more important is what's gonna happen in January, what's gonna happen at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, who's gonna leave? And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very necessary for some of our big players to leave. We need a big shakedown. And I think what Arteta said about, you know, commitment and
Mm-hmm.
who wants to be here and all that, I think once he figures out who deserves to be here, who wants to be here, then it'll be a lot easier. Because like you said, some of these guys are just happy with their paychecks, and I think that shouldn't be the way to go. If our manager's gonna be 101% committed to this, then the players should be as well.
Yeah, great point. The second thing that also caught my attention, uh, this is again another quote by Arteta himself.
Yeah.
We have to have the passion. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be dominant. We
Mm-hmm.
have to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
We have to play in the opponent's territory as much as we want. I want the
Yeah.
ball. I want to attack them as much as possible.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. I think I've heard this before from a certain Unai Emery. Who is
Yeah.
it? We want to be
Yeah.
aggressive. We have to make all
Yeah.
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there
Protagonist.
is there anything that we can buy into? Is that whatever Arteta has just said in his
Look.
first ever interview?
Yeah. I feel like, you know, look, let's be real. I feel like when we knew Unai Emery was coming to Arsenal,
Mm.
there were things on his CV that gave us optimism. You know, we saw that he won league titles with
Yeah.
PSG. He's won, you
I
know,
think I
titles
think the
with
deal breaker
Sevilla.
for Unai Emery was against his exploits when it comes to UEFA.
Yes, exactly.
Europa
Yeah,
Cup.
the Europa League. Yeah, you
So that
see.
was the deal breaker, I think, because we were actually engulfed in that situation at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, and I think that's, you know, and maybe that's what the board just looked at. They didn't really see how, they didn't really care how he did it. They just know that he won three Europa Leagues in a row,
Yeah.
and maybe that's what that bought into him. But you know what? Um, when you compare that and what Arteta has, arguably you would say that Unai Emery has a better CV than Arteta. But the thing is,
Mm,
when Arteta says all these things about wanting to implement attacking football, you know, when I
mm,
want the ball, I will get the ball, that kind of thing.
mm,
And I see how he got, or rather how he played a part in how Man City's play is. I
mm,
fully believe that he would be able to implement some of their ideas here as well. And I'm not saying that he's going to steal Pep's ideas or
mm,
whatever, but I feel like he would know well enough
mm,
about what attacking football should look like. Number one,
mm.
because that's what it was like at Pep's Man City,
Yep.
and number two, because he was very well involved in Arsene Wenger's time here when, you
Yeah,
know,
he
we were
was.
still playing
Mm,
really beautiful attacking football. So
mm,
I would say that he knows what he's talking about, and now it's just obviously going to be a matter of time till we
mm.
see if he can. He has his ideas, sure, but we
Yeah.
need to see whether the players buy into it, whether they'll be able to implement it as well. So we have to see, man.
And how patient must we be for Arteta just to implement whatever attacking play that he has
Yeah,
in mind, the kind of culture that he actually spoke
yeah,
about, trying to revolutionize Arsenal, trying to pick up whatever lessons he has actually picked up from Pep, because Pep has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the quality of players.
he does.
He can do what he's doing right now because he has a certain KDB, David Silva,
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva,
yeah. He's
right
always been
in
given
midfield
good
pack.
squads. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
So can we even come, I would say close. Can we even emulate 20% or 30% of what Man City is doing right now with Granit Xhaka? Digest that.
yeah,
We've got Matthew Guendouzi,
yeah,
and then we've got people like Willock in the midfield. Mesut Ozil, who has always the best record when it comes to Opta Index ground
yeah,
covered. So
yeah,
how do we then, again put our or manage our expectation right? Because right now what we want is an actual spring of surprise. There will be a certain immediate uplift in the whole dressing room. We want the result to be instantaneous, and I mean it's really hard to blame us. We've been suffering. We have been in this abusive relationship for the longest time.
yeah,
We've been black and blue, and now you're telling me another we are getting married to another guy. He says all the right stuff. Are
yeah.
we supposed to believe him? Like how long do we
To be
have
patient.
to
Yeah,
actually vouch patience for
yeah.
when it comes to Arteta?
I mean, okay. I think first of all, what fans have to realize is that it's not gonna happen overnight. Neither is it probably gonna happen in 6 months.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing about Arsenal fans. You know, we can get really impatient. I feel like Arsenal fans have a very short-term memory. You know, but I feel like we have to seriously be patient with him because number one, it's if you look at the kind of mess that we're in now. You
Mm-hmm.
see, I don't think even Pep Guardiola, I don't think even Pep could fix like the situation that we're in right now,
Yep.
and that tells a lot because obviously that shows a lot about the shambolic state we're in. And
Mm-hmm.
for Arteta to want to even leave the Man City job and to come here, I feel like that says a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's going to take a lot of work, and it will probably take a lot of buying and selling of players.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what he has to do first and foremost is get rid of all the dead wood. You
Yeah.
know, fix the technicalities about our game because I've
Mm-hmm.
seen quotes about how the Man City players say that they like he has literally involved
Mm-hmm.
he's evolved how they play so much. Like you see, likes
Yeah.
of Sterling, Sane. You know,
Sorry.
you look at the kind of players that
Even
they are right now,
Fernandinho.
and a lot of that is due to how he's trained them.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
No, I totally agree. I think at this current moment, this is where we Arsenal fan really has to unite as one fan base. Finally, we
yeah,
were so divided ever since Wenger, with all the
yeah,
Wenger in and Wenger out. Same thing with Unai. Even before the appointment, the verdict was already being thrown for Arteta. So it's really ludicrous to think that this guy has not even taken up the full-time job, and people
yeah.
out there has already said
Crazy,
Arteta out. Yeah, that's
crazy, crazy.
completely again
That's
unwarranted for. That's
yeah,
something that's beyond comprehension for me.
yeah,
No, even though that Arteta wasn't really a popular appointment, but I
yeah,
really get why he was being appointed, and I'm
yeah,
fully after my manager.
yeah,
Last thing is up. Let's look at the run of fixtures that Arteta will get his hands on right now. Okay, so
yeah,
obviously the first one he will actually miss Everton
yeah,
Arsenal. Mhm.
yeah,
I don't know what kind of impact he would have, but I think at this current moment, because of the time factor, he would just be a bystander, probably in the stands.
Probably in a sense,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So that one is a bit of a free hit. Que sera sera. Whatever happen, happen. Whatever will be, will
Yeah.
be. All right, for Everton. And then we move on to this is where the real action starts. Bournemouth, Arsenal, Arsenal,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, and then
Yeah.
FA Cup, a bit of a breather. Us playing at home.
Yeah.
Uh, that tie has really good memory for me because that was the last time I cried when I saw Thierry Henry donning on number
Leeds.
12, scoring
Yeah.
the winner. Uh,
Henry Chance,
so-
go!
something, something that I'm really not
Love it.
ashamed of.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then we got Crystal Palace and then Sheffield United again, and then we meet Chelsea. All this would happen in a span of 1 month. What's your expectation like? Do we expect Arsenal to be back into the mix of top four right after January itself? At least for you.
Mix of top four. Jeez, that's a lot. That's
Yeah, because
mix of top
because
four.
mathematically, right? Mathematically, between us and fourth place,
It's not exactly impossible.
no,
That's
we
the
are
thing.
not. We are not really that far off. It's not,
Yeah.
again, it's not a long shot. We can
Yeah.
actually catch up, just barring from any freak accident from
Yeah.
our end, and then also hoping that on their end somebody would just slip up, which you would usually happen. People like
Yeah.
Chelsea, I know
Yeah.
Spurs right now, they are right on a sugar rush, but that
Yeah.
spike will come down one day. And
Yeah.
when it happens, would Arsenal be there to seize the opportunity? That's the question.
I mean, okay, obviously you've just gone through the run of fixtures. I mean, I feel like Arteta could not have it any harder. I
Mm,
feel like the Bournemouth game, I think that's a good one to get things going. And I'm not gonna have that much expectation going into it, obviously, because number one, this is his first game. Number
mm,
two, because he would have had only 1 week with the boys, so you can't really expect too much. But if he gets on to winning ways, I feel like that would be a good sign of things to come. And
mm,
then obviously there's a Chelsea United game that's gonna be huge, and it's very tough to see how that one's gonna go.
mm,
It's gonna be tough, man. I feel like the next month is gonna be. I feel like you could say that maybe he came at a really bad time, but
yep.
then again, you know what? I would have rather had a change now
Mhm, mhm,
instead of waiting till the season. Because if we had waited till the end of the season, things could have gotten a lot worse. So you know what? Maybe credit to the guys or the board at least for making a move now.
mhm,
Obviously, it could have come a bit earlier, but you know what? I think the next month is going to be really, really tough. Where we're going to end up at the end of the season is going to be really difficult to see.
mhm.
But you know what? I would love to see us at least back in the top six.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really good for us, at least considering that we have a new manager coming in
Mhm,
midway of the season,
mhm,
somebody who doesn't even have that much experience.
mhm,
So yeah, you know what? It's gonna be tough, man. Before Arteta came, I
mhm.
realistically thought that we could probably not even get a point out of any of these games.
Yeah.
But you see things that he's saying now, the ideas that he's talking about,
Mhm,
there is cause for optimism, and I think
yeah.
that's what we should be hoping for. None of this Arteta shit, like it's not gonna help anybody. It's not gonna
Mhm,
help him for sure.
mhm,
So I feel like if you say that you love Arsenal, you say that you back the manager, then back him. Don't say things like Arteta out. And yeah, you
mhm,
know what? It's fine to say that you are worried, you have concerns about his lack
mhm,
of experience.
mhm,
That's totally fine. That's your opinion, and you have your right to opinion. But
mhm.
don't be spreading like Arteta out. I don't want him
Yeah.
in this
Yeah. No, I
team.
get
I
you. I
don't want
get
him
you.
in that team.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
For me, at the end of the day, fans'
yeah,
opinion, again, no matter how split it is, it's
yeah.
their prerogative. They can say what they want. But I think for us,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I
At the
think
end of
for
the day,
us,
he's still our manager. You can say whatever you
he's
want.
our
Yeah,
manager. The way I actually back Unai Emery until his dying days, and then again, it was a bit bipartisanal with Unai Emery. It was clear to see
yeah,
that he was not really up to it. But with Mikel Arteta, there is a sense of, like you mentioned, the cause of optimism, and also the way I look at his body posture, the way he speaks, is full of conviction. I've
yeah.
never seen this for the longest time in
Confidence.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
And I believe that this might be the turning point. This should be in Arsenal's chapter, a watershed moment. This is where everything will change. And this is where I believe the way to go right now is for us to stop buying big name players with
yeah,
big egos. People
yeah,
like, I'm sorry, people like Aubameyang, people like
yeah,
Lacazette, Ozil. This has to stop. We should actually carbon copy whatever Liverpool are doing right now. They
yeah,
are buying workers, people who are more industrious in the way they play.
yeah.
No,
For
I'm
sure.
done.
Yeah,
I think I've enjoyed enough watching Arsenal being sleek, being again the creme de la creme of football. Now
Yeah.
I want to see people running through the brick wall for us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it means that I have to lose my favorite pairing of Aubameyang and Lacazette,
It would suck,
it
but it would be
will
necessary.
be. I've seen this before. We lost
Yeah.
Thierry Henry. We thought that
Yeah.
okay, we went through a meltdown. Then
Yeah.
came Adebayo. Adebayo, he made a cunt out of himself. He became a
Yeah.
proper cunt. He went to Man City. We thought that was the end of the road, and then came
Yeah.
RVP. And guess what?
Uh,
I don't want to continue right after RVP.
yeah.
Because and every predicament that we're in, Arsenal always manage to find a solution. But this has by far and large the longest period that we are stuck and we don't know where to turn. But
But stuck. That's the right word to use.
yeah,
Stuck.
I feel that this is probably a beacon of light for us. Arteta coming in, 37 years old. Like you mentioned also earlier on, we have nothing to lose. We really
Yeah.
have nothing to lose. His if he decides to bottle this job, and this is the expectation for him, out there, the doubters will expect Arteta to flop. And if
Yeah.
he does, so what? So what?
Yeah.
He came in at a really cheap price. It's probably just another Unai Emery with better command of English.
Yeah.
But I feel, for me, I have this strange hunch and premonition. This is going to work out for us. Because
That's
finally,
the thing. I look.
finally, yeah, we're
I
taking,
have
again,
no.
we are
There's no
safe
reason for
off.
optimism, but I feel confident too. Yeah.
I do too, I do too. And man, so tonight you'll be at OTH. You'll get the
Yes.
first-hand experience talking to our Arsenal
Yes.
fans in Singapore, at least, on how they feel
Yes.
about Mikel Arteta. That's going to be really exciting. I want you
Yeah.
to get really many people on board to talk to them
Yeah.
and on how they feel about Arteta.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think at this current moment, I think the mantra for Arsenal is to actually kick out any single ounce of negativity that's in our
Yeah.
body. Let's look fresh. Let's
It's a
be a bit
fresh start. It is a
let's
fresh
be a
start.
bit
It's the
more
middle of the
bright-eyed
season, but it
feel
is a
about
fresh
this.
start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's be optimistic about it. Again, with Everton, like I mentioned, it's a bit of a write-off. It's touch and
Yeah.
go. If we win, if we win, we win. Because right now the expectation is for us to lose, and there's only one way
It
out.
is.
If you have hit rock bottom, it's only up.
Yeah. It is
Okay.
only. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Izak, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited that I see a Ghana who is really positive. That is really a fresh air for us to breathe right now. And I hope this positivity will be spread even more throughout the whole season. And I think also right now for me personally, uh, I got to come to terms to this appointment. I kind of
Yeah.
like it. I like it, but because of the talents that were available, I thought that
Yeah.
we would be better off getting people with better accolades.
Yeah.
But that's probably a football
We should
fan
be
thinking.
excited about this
And
still.
that's yeah, and that's why I'm not in the position of Raul and Edu and
Yeah.
them people. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really look forward
Yes.
to this and keep up the faith. Come on, you Gunners!
Come on.